Hey folks, here we are with my 2014 FJR 1300, and today we are doing the Delkevic install. I went with the same looking stock pipe. I just like the way it looks on this bike. I felt the shorter ones made the bike look kind of weird, and so basically it's going to look pretty similar when we're all said and done. So first things we're going to do, we're going to start this up. And I got my recorder here, I know it's in view, but I really want to get a good sound out of that stock exhaust. So I'm going to start it up. Make sure it's in neutral. This is our standard stock sound. Now it's not terrible, but it's certainly not great. Give it a little gas, a little rubber gas. Certainly a mean sounding bike as it stands. So that's our first OEM sound bite, and now we're going to start the installation. Here is the Delkevic kit that came with the FJR. You get a couple of these pieces here, and you can see they put on some kind of cover that's going to reveal a nice chrome underneath. Nice chrome look. These are the bands that will go around the silencer. These are the two link pipes, so you get two of those. And I'm not really sure if I'm going to be able to use the heat shield on the other side. Once I get it all unwrapped, I guess we'll figure that out. And here is the new Delkevic 18-inch. This is the oval, and you can see the baffles are still in, so we're going to definitely pull those out because part of this mod was to be able to retain the stock silent sound of this bike, which is really amazing. It's a super quiet, stealthy bike, and I absolutely love it, but at times I really wish it was sounded a little beefier. So this seems to fit the bill. I've heard a couple of sound bites from other FJR owners, and they sound pretty good, so pretty satisfied that this is going to be just what this bike needs. We're going to get to the installation here. First thing we're going to do is I have my preferred brand of silicone lubricant. Just going to spray a little on these bolts here so we don't have extra difficulty getting them off. And of course you want to keep your stock hands as nice as you can, because you may choose at some point to buy a newer FJR, and you might want to just take those cans off. Of course, if they don't change the design. Now for the back one here we need a 14 millimeter. And for this bottom link clamp, we need a 12. And hopefully that silicone's set in at this point. And I got my two helpers over here. So let's see how it goes. Hopefully we got a good view there. So I'm just gonna break this one loose. That was fairly easy. Now let me just tell you, I'm not a mechanic by day or anything here. I am just the average guy. I do some of my own work, and I love working on motorcycles. Next time we do this, the R1 that you may or may not see in the background, we'll be getting a alpha 3/4 change. So we'll remove the cat on there, but that's another day. So now I'm going to go ahead and get this clamp down here off. Now I don't have enough strength to literally lift this bike up on its rack. Okay. Just kind of going back and forth with it to break it loose a little bit, because it is a little stiffer than the other one. Okay. And this hardware is going to be reusable, so definitely don't want to abuse it. These bottom ones definitely have a little more a little trickier to get off. Should probably go ahead now and spray the other side. Again, I'm trying to keep these link pipes. When I get them off, before I package them up, I'm going to clean them up real nice. And I may even find somebody on eBay that's looking for them. Okay, so I don't believe these clamps come off. I'm going to loosen the screw down to the edge of the nut, just so I got maximum play. And let's see where we end up. Wiggle that guy loose. Alright, so now I'm going to come back to these 14 in the back here. And pull that off the rest of the way, and I'm hoping, let's see, any other connections, I'm hoping after that we'll be good to go. Alright, I'm not exactly sure what to expect. Okay. And again, if you can get that kickstand out of your way, you'll be better off. So this looks to be all one piece. Alright, this is our stock pipe. I'm going to go stick this in the box over here. Just what I need, one more thing to store. So next up, we got the link pipes, so let's get those opened up. Alright, so here we are. Now I just took a look at the stock pipe again, and basically one of the included pipes has this piece here, which is actually what keeps this rubber, this kickstand from, and the rubber piece obviously, from damaging your pipe. But that's actually the stopper for it, so it's welded into one of these pipes here. So I just kind of lined up the stock again to make sure I had the right orientation. Okay, so you can see that piece is basically facing flat down. So when you put this on, obviously, it would be right above that rubber piece. So I've already done my silicone spray on the other side of the system here, so that by the time we get over there, we'll be ready to go. And you can just do a quick fit here, kind of see how this is going to go. Obviously this rubber piece, I mean, if you have the option, I am 150 pounds, I can't actually get this thing on the kickstand. Maybe I'm just not doing it right, but it is what it is. So I'll do a quick fit with the pipe. Now I really don't want to touch this pipe any more than I have to. So let's do that. You know this piece needs to face down. Delkevic's there. Move our clamp down a bit. Okay. See how nice that goes in? So at this point I could even just say screw it and throw some silicone on, but let's just do one dry fit. Okay, you see it does go in there. Delkevic should be out to the side. This damn thing needs to be out of the way. Okay. So that thing is hitting the rubber there. Again, nothing is tightened down yet. And I can just visually feel down here. There. That's about where it's supposed to be. And that looks pretty accurate to the stock fitted version. So now I'm just going to pull this back off and use this grease or sealant so we don't have any leaks. Just, you know, wiping it down. You can see how much crap came off of there. Just want to put that sealant on there. And I'm just doing the outside so you can get an idea just what's on the outside. Okay, that doesn't look too bad. One more spot, and we just want to make sure we have a good connection. We don't want to deal with exhaust leaks and have to take all this stuff back apart. Okay? So for me, this is an issue because I can't get this thing up on this kickstand. I may not know the technique or whatnot, but I really can't do it. So I'm just leaving it there and trying to work around it. So next step is to get the silicone grease, and they say in the instructions you want to use a 3mm bead, which, just to give you some perspective from the Allen wrenches, this is a 3mm. Okay, so pretty much, you know, about half the size of the width of the tube opening, depending on how you pop it open. It wants to be a nice healthy piece on, chunk of the stuff on there. That's why they give you the big bottle. So I'm just gonna take the two here and just pop it open. I really don't have all the right tools at the moment, so I just got a thin hole popped open, my Allen's. All I have is the basic tools here. I have the socket set and metric Allens. That's it. So the best way to do this would be to take the pipe itself. Try to keep your hands clean too, because this is your new exhaust, and you're working with silicone grease or lubricant, and that causes dirt to stick. So if you got one of these soft cloths, just take a second, wipe your hands as clean as you can get them. I personally will come back after this is done and either chrome polish them or something to that effect, but I will clean them. I won't leave them just... So I pretty much have the orientation on this setup right. Now the thing I do need to do is to pop this back out, which you may find this is a little tricky to get out. So if you want to watch where this nut is about in line with where that needs to be. So I can either do the outside of this pipe, but I think it's best to do it on this inside rim. And this clamp is actually going to slide up. Not that we have to, we can leave it down. It's personal preference. I'm going to go ahead and start lubricating this, or sealing this. And doing it this way, getting a nice even bead going across the ridges right at the top, because once I put this thing in, and I'm sure if you overdid it a bit, you could run to your local auto parts store and get some replacement. I'm probably going a little heavier than what might be needed, but rather safe than sorry. Alright, so we got that in there. And now we're just gonna, remember what I said, that nut and this kind of need to line up roughly. Just gonna get that in there. Maybe. Alright, there we go. And I see a little bit of excess here. I just want to get rid of that because I'm sure once this stuff dries, it's not ideal. Just wiping off a little of the excess that might be on the outside of the pipe. Now I don't even know, this seems to be in there. I may have to turn it some, but obviously I want to do the cleanest install I can do here. So this side seems a little more straightforward. And I got the tail ends on here. So I'm making sure I keep something under them so they don't get knocked, chipped up and stuff like that. Now, this guy seems like he wants to be loosened a bit, but we don't need to. And he's actually going to overlap a little. Just come back in here. Now the Delkevic instructions tell you do not tighten anything, obviously, because there's a lot of fitment to this and things aren't going to go straight. So here's my 3mm, not the greatest. I guess I could do better. I could smooth it out a little, but I really don't want to mess with it too much because I don't think it's going to make much of a difference for me. So again, if you don't have this this here already kicked up, you're going to need to just kind of push it down for a second. Got that on there. Alright. And again, watch that rubber piece on the bottom because he needs right here. Okay. difference. So this is what makes up that difference in the clamp and gives you that nice solid feel. Now yeah, you probably could have slid it on like I was doing before, but it was popping off, so this works too. Okay, just get that last one up there, pop that around, and these things are definitely dirtier than I would like them to be right now. My riding buddy can attest to my meticulously clean bikes most of the time. Just kind of slide this around, and again, I'm in that predicament. Which way does it go? That way is not the right way. So it does want to come all the way around here. Wants to lock in there, and then you want to pull this up. Okay. And now if you notice, the whole orientation of my exhaust system has started changing. And I also want to pay close attention. I'm looking around it and seeing that, okay, maybe this should be a little angled. Okay, so that looks pretty good. But if you noticed, the whole pipe changed, so that's what you want to pay a lot of attention to. And I even push the muffler back on. Let's see if we can get this on here now. Alright. Easy peasy. Okay. Now, nothing's tight yet. And basically on this side, I'm just mainly focused on this grommet here and kind of the position. Okay, because that's where it really wants to be, right about there. Okay, so that is the install now. Now basically, I'm just going to come around to the back here, take a quick eyeball. Now the ovals are kind of facing out the side, but I mean they look even. I don't see any gap really. I mean, I could possibly turn them a little bit. And I think that's where it's going to stay. Now right now the baffles are in. But just looking at the stock, it's a little higher pitched up, which looks nice. Chrome looks great. Definitely a sportier look to this bike. So again, take my dirty rag, wipe off the extra goo. Okay. And I'm not sure if there's a curing time on this stuff, but I'll go ahead and start cranking this down and see what happens. It's not in the back to move, but you can basically hand tighten by just holding on to it. Okay, so now it's gotten tight enough. The nut in the back is no longer moving. Okay, it's cranked down pretty good. You can see the exhaust feels pretty secure right now. 10 mil, tighten this one up down here. You see I'm using deep welds. It's not because I don't have anything else. It's just because it gives me a little area to work in. And I don't think you need to go crazy on these. There is no specified torque value. I'm going to just go until it feels nice and snug. And it's definitely getting there. About it. I don't think it wants to go anymore. Okay, so you can see this thing. Once we tighten this one down, you can probably see that play in there when I move it. Now I'm only doing 1080p, but this pipe is definitely solid right now. And of course, there's my clean rag. So we got that in there, and rubber piece is fitting flush. on that little metal arm. The other side's going to be an even quicker breeze. So again, I kind of tucked this Allen down here away, and I'm just going to start cranking away on it. There is a nut on this clamp. It's a little different than the other one, so you will want to hold it while you're tightening this, and don't stab yourself with tiny little Allen wrenches. Alright, that nut's still moving there. There we go. Now, the way I have it positioned, I could certainly get a wrench in there if I ever needed to pull this off. Probably should have just got my socket together, and now you can see how much more solid that looks. I'm not sure what just said. Okay, so the clamp is now there it is. Now we got a nice solid install. I'm just gonna see what else I can get out of here. Another half a turn or so. Looks real solid. Very nice. So that is the install. We will move over to the other side. We have the clamp down here, which is, I believe, at 12. Yep. So we're going to go ahead and loosen that up first. Now, the way you put this exhaust system on is you're going to crank it down from the front to the back. So last time on the other side I did it the opposite way, and you know, realistically this is my first time putting something like this on. Okay, so the clamp's pretty loose there. I'll go ahead and grab my 14, pop this one off, give yourself a little space. Remember, you want to keep these in good shape so don't get carried away. Now the other pipe, the stock pipe, was actually a little bit different. It didn't seem to have these segmented pieces here like this one does. So I would expect a little twist and pull that right off. So there's our stock pipe. Now again, what I had to do on the other side is, you see you got this nut in here and it's trapped between these pieces, so you literally have to open that up. And we gotta free the nut. Free the nut. Helper, can you hold this for me? Okay. Actually, pretty close here. Yep, I can. Okay. So you're going to need this nut to put the new one on. Before you can fit that link pipe on, you need to loosen that up. That was a 6 on this one, or 5, I mean. 5 mil. Okay, so you're just going to want to loosen it until you get to the edge of your nut. Okay, and at that point, okay, so right about there. So as you can see, the clamp could come off. You want this clamp to cover the back of those edges. Okay, you want this, if anything, to be shown. So when you put your stuff in, when you put your gasket sealant in, which is right here, comes included with the kit, you don't want to see light through the bottom there, so you're going to just kind of move that down a little bit, maybe right there. Now I don't see any light, and that's going to be a good place to put my sealant at. And then when I'm done, I'll be in a good position to just wipe it while it's still wet and have a nice clean looking exhaust. So this is the orientation that's going to be going on right now. And just eyeballing this a little bit, seeing what's going on here. Let's figure out. Alright, let's just get this line pipe in. We can start fitting it a bit. And you know, grab your stock exhaust if you need to. First of all, you got to make sure you can get this in there. If you can't get that in there, you definitely want to loosen that up some more. So just, if you need to, like I said, grab the stock exhaust and you know, figure something out. What we had to do was to loosen up this clamp a little more. And if you see, there's this like gasket material insert, and once you push that in a little bit, kind of wiggle that on, you get a nice good fit. And I don't think we need, I don't know if we need the silicone gasket stuff here, but of course I'll use it. And now I'm just looking at the back, you know, and this needs to come up a hair. It looks pretty even. So it should, I'm thinking, be right about there. And from the back, which you can't see that well, looks pretty even. So I'll leave it at that right now. What I want to do is just reorient this clamp. And I really don't want it to be visible either. So it's probably just going to be something like this. Okay, and like I said, I'm pushing this down to the very bottom of those grooves, and I'm doing my gasket material. And I'll show you in just a second. I've used about half this bottle already. Sorry about the chomping if you guys can hear that, but quitting smoking and I'm chewing nicotine gum, and it seems to be the lesser of the two evils at the moment. Okay, so now that I've moved everything, let me just figure out, okay, so this clamp we're going to have up like that. Now you can see what I did here about how much I've used, so I didn't spare any. And we want it to be something like, now this pipe to the muffler on both sides was definitely tight. Okay, it wants to go in a certain way. And once you find that, then you can reposition and turn it however you like. It is a bit stubborn, so don't think that they sent you the wrong thing or that it doesn't fit, okay? Now you're not tightening anything down yet either. Alright, so this is our pipe. I'm going to set it right here on my cloth rags not to scratch anything up. And I am grabbing the, obviously something to clean my hands real quick. And I got the clamp, okay? Now, the clamp has this rubber thing. And when you first open this up, if you're not as experienced at doing this, I'm not very experienced, so I was like, what is that for? Now, you can slide this thing on, but it definitely seemed easier just going around this way, getting one side on. Okay, and this only wants to go to the edge of the clamp. Okay, it doesn't want to go up these sides. So just get it to the edge. This is what's going to keep the metal band from scratching up your nicely polished exhaust system. And I'm sure somebody knows an easier way. Like I said, I did slide it on before and it went okay, but about halfway through it popped off. And at this point, I feel like this is just the safer way to go. Just kind of bend that back, pop that on. Same here. Okay. Got my bead on there, so I'm just going to put this guy on. That's way wrong, obviously. Getting a nice, can you hold this up for me on the plastic. Just hold the tip up. Stand up and hold it so it doesn't fall. Okay? I have to. So you can just stretch this guy out a little bit. Okay? And lift him up. Now we already took the nut off, so if you did that, you saved yourself some trouble. I'm just gonna pop the screw in here. Okay. So now I can visually kind of twist things. Thank you, son. Well, that looks pretty darn even to me. Okay, so we're gonna just pop this off for a second. One of the things I'm checking right now is, oh, I definitely have this the wrong orientation because the Delkevic logo is upside down. Can you hold this for me again, son? Got it? Okay, so what we gotta do then, stretch this out, just twist it. Okay, now the logo's right. Just gonna stick it back on. And then before we crank this side down, just want to make sure, you can skip this step if you want to, but I certainly want to make sure that we got a nice, even looking system going here as far as logo placement. So I'm taking this nut, I'm just putting this nut loosely on the back just so I can walk away from this thing and not be worried it's going to fall to the ground. Okay? Okay, so now, as per the instructions, tighten front to back. Okay, this clamp's really loose right now. And I'm just trying to think, I should have flipped these clamps around, to be honest with you. So if you get the chance to do that, do it, because otherwise you're gonna have this thing sticking out the bottom. I just wanna, I see that movement, I just wanna check. Don't let go, buddy. Okay. Alright.
I'm tired.
As you can see, I have a bit of a whiner here. Doesn't know the virtue of hard work yet, so we're going to teach him. Crank this one down nice and tight. It's just about there. That sounds good. Nice and tight. You can see, shake the bike. All right, buddy, you can let go. Let go. Okay, we're in the clear on everything there. Now on this one, we have the, so now I'm just going to crank this down. And if you find at the end that you made a mistake, you can certainly go back and loosen these clamps up, readjust as needed. And again, the baffles are still in on here, so our first sound bite that we'll get will be with the baffles in. Okay, so I'm just going to look again. Everything looks great, super easy install. Now let me just crank this guy down and we'll be ready to fire her up. And as you can see, I can grab here and shake the bike. So that thing's pretty solid. Okay, looks great. Really excited to hear it. It definitely has a more throaty sound, but you're not getting that loud sound in the higher RPMs. Let me go. Next, I'm going to take out these baffles, which is done by a screw right here, Allen head screw. So we'll take those out and we'll see what the difference is. But number 4. really nothing on the instructions that tells you what's going on here. I don't want to do that. Okay, so there's our baffle. All right. Full of the exhaust goop that I shot through my muffler. Very nice. You don't want to wipe that off. With the baffles out. Go ahead and give that a try now. See where we're at.